Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're doing it again. Leaving a Hot Toys Spider-Man figure in an 8-month pose and finding out what happens. And it went kind of wrong. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is Riley Reviews, back again with a video here, and today is going to be another experiment posing Spider-Man figures because, you know, 6-scale Spider-Man is my bread and butter. This one, if you couldn't guess, will be featuring Miles Morales' Spider-Man figure from the Spider-Man 2 video game, but before we get into all the craziness, I want to send a massive thank you to anyone watching the previous video because you absolutely killed it, making it my biggest video ever. I was absolutely blown away by the support. This is exactly why I'm doing a part 2 series, because I had a lot of fun doing it and it seemed like a lot of other people did and provided some insane insights. So I'm hoping to see that in this video as well in the comments. If you do enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bang that bell notification so you don't miss any future content regarding Spider-Man. But with all that to say, let's start at the beginning. January 8th was when I first did this Spider-Man pose, and it is now August 22nd. And I am finally going to be taking the pose out and straightening the body to see if there was any damage or creasing, because we all need to find out the question, can you pose Spider-Man figures without damage? Like I said, this is an 8-month pose, so I'm going above and beyond for y'all, breaking my Spider-Man figures. Mommy and daddy do not pay for my figures. I pay every single cent, so I'm a little scared to see how this is going to turn out. Can we first talk about how beautiful these figures are, though? It is a little dusty because I've had them sat in my shelf for ages, but damn, this Miles is sensational, absolutely beautiful. But you can see, this is quite the dynamic pose, so I spared no expense with articulation. The legs, arms, and middle body are all fairly stretched. Pause. But I'm not gonna lie with you guys, I messed up because I am using this waist clamp and I am fully expecting there to be damage under there. But let's quit yapping and finally find out the condition of this. Wait, y'all heard that, right? Oof! The pain of hearing the material stick onto an item that is supposed to protect your figure, only to see that it has dug into the suit. I can't lie, that is pretty damn noticeable, but the only person I have to blame there is myself, because having these Spider-Man figures, I already knew that is a constant issue that happens, and I was willing to take the risk. Honestly though, this is another Hot Toys head scratcher. I don't know how a company can provide a waist clamp that will damage a $300 figure you're buying. I'll get into that later, but let's finish off straightening out the figure. And you can see the arms here. I'm not really noticing anything, which is a great sign, but this is the one in a far more like stretched out pose. So we're, oh shit.
Stay with me.
Damn, I'm getting beat up with this pose. This arm's definitely gonna leave a mark or two, so we're gonna see how it heals though, because these figures do tend to look a lot better as you let it sit and heal for some time. And let's get the legs dropped down here as well and find out the knees in particular are gonna look very bunched up at the start, but like I said, I'm not really the collector to care as much for these problems, but let's take a closer look at the damage. Particularly at the arm, that is the biggest problem I'm seeing. It has a lot of scratches around the arms because the material is obviously kind of sticking and bunching onto itself. But remember, this is me taking it straight out of the pose, so I'm fully expecting these to heal over, but time will definitely tell. But first impressions, the thing I really care about is the clamp, like I said, but that's kind of more of a way to showcase people to never use it because it literally leaves a indentation on your figure. But apart from that, everything looks pretty damn great so far, and I'm expecting it to even heal better. So let me know what you think in the comments. Are you worried for Riley Reviews' collection? Because there's obviously always going to be risk and potential damage, as you can see right now. But as I mentioned before, for figures I don't really plan on ever selling, I don't mind posing it so crazily because it's just always going to stick around in my collection and it's not too big of a deal. But let's wait another day, let it sit tight, take a little breather, and find out how it looks tomorrow. All right. I know I said one day, but it has been maybe 15 or 20 minutes. And as you can see right here, it looks so much better. The elbow area, though, is still looking a little cooked. But like I said, everything else is healing very nicely. But I'm not going to lie. Give me a couple of seconds to cook Hot Toys because these clamps are absolutely stupid. They are terrible. they need to get rid of these and implement some other way to make their figures dynamically pose, because this is not it. But there are solutions to this problem, which will be shown in a future video. All right, I got my little rant out, but as you can see, I put this figure back on my shelf in the Maju space, and we're gonna wait again a day later and see. I'll catch you guys in 24 hours, which is like 2 seconds for you. All right, so it has been one day, and I am taking Miles out of the case and finding out if there is still some overlying damage on the figure. And it does look like that left arm is gonna be pretty cooked. It was in a pretty extreme pose with that left arm, so I'm not really shocked by this, but as we have it here in the light box, I think this is like a day and a half later, it does look pretty damn great. You can't really notice the marks on the left arm as much. It's only obviously if you look pretty deep into it, you're gonna see it right there. There is some lines, but as I said, it healed pretty fairly well. But like I said, this could be kind of a failed experiment, because you can see that if you do an extreme enough pose, it will leave marks that are just no way of like fixing. There's nothing you can really do to revive this. And it is a huge bummer, to be honest, because this is another reason why a lot of people who do collect action figures stay away from Hot Toys, because the articulation is there, but when you do that said crazy articulation, you will face issues like this. But I wasn't wrong about this figure's healing. I mean, this was in way worse of shape than what you're seeing right now, and it proves to you that these newer figures are definitely getting stronger materials. And to answer another question on if this will limit me in the future, I don't think so, honestly. I mean, it's one of those things like I mentioned previously. I love these figures so much to where I wouldn't really plan on ever selling these ones, like Miles, Peter Parker, stuff like that. But other figures where I would possibly sell, I'd definitely be more careful with. But yeah, it does look like I kind of stuck my fingernail like in 3 spots on that arm. It is not too ideal. So for people who don't want to see any damage on their figures and keep them in pristine condition, I would stay away from doing something as extreme as this pose I had him in. And I know a lot of people in the previous video said it was kind of a dumb argument to keep your figures in great pristine condition, but you have to understand these are collectibles as well. Justin Collection actually made a great comment stating that it's not really more so a value-wise, you're just aesthetically want to keep your figures in that, you know, clean and crisp condition when you bought it. So it's completely valid to look at both sides of the coin, really, because other people pose them to their heart's content because they look at it more sentimental wise and they don't really care if there is creasing, and I'm kind of indifferent. But I hope this added value for Hot Toys Spider-Man collectors, because in part 1 I was kind of stating how you shouldn't be as scared, and in this one I'm kind of looking at the other side of why there can be issues with Spider-Man figures, and you saw that today. But let me know in the comments below what your perspective is being a Spider-Man collector. Are you willing to go above and beyond for that pose, or are you playing it safe?